at 12:43 on Wednesday. And we broke ESPN Madison. So it is just me and Joshy, no Tiny Hands.
Hell yeah, brothers.
As Tiny Hands attempts to rebuild ESPN Madison. They're off the radio. They have no internet. So whatever we did broke ESPN Madison. So Joshy and I with you for the next 45 or so minutes as we dive into a bunch of stuff. I want to talk Packers-Niners a little bit. I want to talk college basketball a little bit after Marquette gets a big win yesterday. We're going to play one word, but the issue with playing one word is Hunter typically comes up with the topics. We don't know what the topics are. So I think Joshy is going to make up the topics as we go when we play one word a little bit later. Okay? We good on that, Joshy?
I can make some magic happen.
All right, I know you can. I have no doubts in you whatsoever. So let's start here, though. Aaron Rodgers and the New York Jets. Yeah. Joe Douglas out as the general manager. Robert Saleh out as the head coach. Everybody out in New York, except Aaron Rodgers for the time being, as Aaron Rodgers, the quarterback of the New York Jets, probably not much longer, to be real honest with you. I think that tenure's coming to an end. I did have some video I wanted to play for you from Adam Schefter of ESPN, who joined Jen, Gabe, and Chewy, the show Josh produces, this morning as he pondered the idea of maybe Rodgers will go to Minnesota next year. And I actually think it's going to happen. I've fully convinced myself prior to Adam Schefter saying this, and he said multiple times, he said, I'm not telling you this is going to happen. I just think it could happen. What's going to happen in New York is they need to completely rebuild. So the story comes out that Woody Johnson, the owner of the Jets, who has now fired Douglas and Saleh, sat down with coaches after a loss earlier in the season and said something to the effect of, Rodgers is the reason we're losing games. We need to bench him for Tyrod Taylor. Obviously, they did not do that. The Jets are now 3-8. GM out, head coach out. Quarterback, who's 40 years old, soon to be 41 years old, is going to be out at the end of the season. There's no way they hang on to Rodgers. And the best part about Rodgers is you owe him a ton of money. So you can't really trade him. Because what team in the right mind will go, you know what's going to make us Super Bowl contender? 41-year-old Aaron Rodgers, who we'd probably have to trade A, a lot for, and B, pay a lot for in 2025. Rodgers isn't going out like this. If we've learned anything about Aaron Rodgers, this isn't his last season in the NFL. He can't go out like this. But what he can do is bring us full circle, Favre-esque, by getting cut by the New York Jets and having his pick of the litter. Where does Aaron Rodgers want to play football in 2025? Well, there's a team that's got some pretty good weapons offensively. In fact, the running back Rodgers is familiar with. Defensively, one of the best defenses in the league. They have the weapons. They have the defense. Seems like they have the coaching staff. And they have a young quarterback who needs time to learn in J.J. McCarthy. Missed all of this season due to an injury. Hasn't really been able to practice. He's only mentally been able to pick up the Vikings offense. Last time Rodgers mentored a young quarterback who took over for him, it worked out pretty good. That, of course, was Jordan Love. So I think the idea of Aaron Rodgers being a Minnesota Viking in 2025, I think it's real. And I think it could happen. Now, there are obviously going to be other options for Rodgers, right? I think there's probably a few, Joshy. Do any of them make as much sense as Minnesota? No. They don't.
I don't think any of them make sense.
Including Minnesota?
Including Minnesota.
Why?
Because for Aaron Rodgers to operate, he needs Aaron Rodgers, binkies, blankies, sycophants, all types of things. Kevin O'Connell's got a good thing going there. He's a good head coach. He's got a good head coach. He's got a good system happening there. I think at this point, who's entering into the brief Aaron Rodgers game at this point of his career? His leg clearly hasn't healed the way he wishes it would. He's probably playing hurt. I want to plant my flag on he's not playing after this year.
You think he's done?
He's done. The embarrassment has reached too far. He has the excuse of meddlesome owner, inept head coach, and bad general manager. all those things he can point to, no matter how inaccurate they are. We know Aaron Rodgers had a lot to do with the coaching staff, the guys there, and the guys that have been surrounded him by Joe Douglas and Woody Johnson. I don't see Aaron Rodgers, who would be 42, going into the middle of that season.
Yeah, December of next year.
I want to, because at this point, now he's a rental. Now he is a short stopgap. He's less than what Tom Brady was doing. This was supposed to be 2 years. If you remember him saying, I got a couple years left. This is the couple years. At 42 years old, Aaron Rodgers, after all the abuse he's taken, because as negative as we can be about Aaron Rodgers, he's a warrior. He's out there all the time. Mm-hmm. He plays extremely hurt. He's played extremely hurt. His body's breaking down on him. He said on Pat McAfee, things hurt more and for longer than they used to at this age. I don't think there's going to be a suitor, and I don't think there's going to be a suitor who's willing to do what Aaron Rodgers requires to be the quarterback.
The only one I think makes sense is Minnesota, right? I think there are a few other options that could make sense. Seattle, if they draft a quarterback and move on from Geno, could make sense. Las Vegas doesn't make sense.
Nope.
I'm trying to think about teams that need quarterbacks.
Here's the thing that I could see happening.
Oh boy.
And it sounds crazy.
You about to bring up RFK Jr.?
No.
Okay.
It sounds crazy, but Aaron Rodgers and Mike McCarthy have regained their friendship that ended on horrible terms. They both speak kindly of each other. Mike McCarthy gets fired and then gets hired somewhere else, and Aaron Rodgers goes there because he runs a comfortable offense. He knows what he's got there. That's the one scenario I see playing out, because Kevin O'Connell, he's more like Matt LaFleur, Sean McVay, Kyle Shanahan than he is like Nathaniel Hackett, Mike McCarthy, all those guys.
That's true, but
the offense needs to be designed around Aaron Rodgers and what he likes to do.
So is there a scenario where the Jets A, draft a quarterback, B, hang on to Rodgers, and C, hire McCarthy?
That's possible, but I think they want out. I mean, the reporting's there. You've seen every member of New York media say Woody Johnson wants to move on. I mean, he tried to bench the guy.
Yes, he did.
But then fired the coach after having a conversation with him a few weeks later. Very bizarre, but it's Woody Johnson. This is why the Jets are the Jets.
Yeah.
I don't see a scenario. I think it would have to be Mike McCarthy goes somewhere. They need a quarterback. He gets hired. He brings in Aaron Rodgers, and then Alan Lazard follows, or whatever guys Aaron Rodgers has determined are still worth his time. Maybe David Bakhtiari finds what he was looking for.
That dude looks swole, by the way.
Yeah,
did you see the video of him working out?
Yeah, I mean, he's a freak.
And we'll get to Jair. He's the same as Jair, right?
Yes.
Like, you just can't count on him to be healthy.
Correct.
But he's a freak. I mean, he was a great left tackle, just like Jair's a great corner. So, when it comes to the Rodgers thing, I don't know. Let me have my fun for a while, because I'll probably come back down to earth. But as it stands right now, November 20th, I'm all in on Rodgers the Viking. We'd have to root against him even harder than you already do, Josh.
Oh, I would love it. It would the entertainment value and what it would provide to me in my personal life and my tweeting habits would be great fodder.
Sure.
Because not only do I get to root against the Vikings, I get to root against the Vikings with Aaron Rodgers. As I've said before, one of the greatest games of my lifetime and the most excited I've ever been was when Brett Favre with the Vikings lost in the NFC Championship game to the Saints. That was about as much elation as I felt as the Green Bay Packers winning the Super Bowl in 2011. But I don't think anybody wants to play the Aaron Rodgers game. There's a reason Shefty's saying it. There's a reason Rappaport's saying it. Pelissero saying it. Is because everyone around the league is basically issuing a refutation of Aaron Rodgers and the way he runs football and the way he needs to be made happy. Everyone has looked at it and said, I don't want to be a part of that.
Yeah, and rightfully so, because it's a disaster and we see what he does to teams. So, I don't know, man. I would love to see him burn down the Vikings from the inside.
It could work, even though the Shador Dion thing seems like a foregone conclusion there in Oakland. Las Vegas.
Yeah.
That one could work. If for whatever reason they miss out on Shador and aren't able to make it happen, but it seems like Dion and Shador are going to
It's going to be a package deal.
Make sure it happens.
Yeah.
But like a place like that is totally wayward. Because Carolina, I tweeted out, like, have fun in Carolina. Like, they don't even really make sense. Why would Canales want to enter into that game? Like, there are very few spots where you can make a case.
Miami?
No, I think Tua is their guy.
Yeah.
Like, where else?
I think there's external factors that come into play with Tua.
Yeah, I mean, that would
you
be
hope he's fine, and
him getting hurt and then retiring again. That's really the only situation that plays out there, because Denver doesn't want a piece of that.
Right.
I mean, I guess you could say the Seahawks, but aren't they going to just draft a quarterback?
They'll
at some point?
either A or B. They're really going to stick with Geno. I just don't know that that's going to happen. I don't know though. I mean, it certainly could. He's been a good quarterback for them, but he's 34 years old.
You know how I accused you of being a Chicago Bears fans for the offseason? This might bridge me into being a Vikings fan, because I think their GM and their head coach are too smart for the Aaron Rodgers business.
I think you're right.
Yeah, I think they know what they want to do, and they've been slowly building there. That even if they don't end up being,
they're not going to lock up Sam Darnold though.
No. It's JJ McCarthy. That's the future. They're very excited about JJ.
It's hard to be. It's hard to be excited about JJ McCarthy.
Well, guess what? Sam Darnold didn't look good with Kyle Shanahan, and then went with Kevin O'Connell, and played his best ball.
It's true.
So if anybody's going to make JJ McCarthy better than what we all think he was as a prospect,
Kevin O'Connell.
I'd say Kevin O'Connell's got a good shot.
He does. That's a good point by you. All right. That's enough on Rodgers for today. We'll probably do more Friday.
Yeah. I'm so mad he's on bye. This stinks.
Is he going on McAfee, or is that not happening anymore?
McAfee conveniently announced that it's their bye week, so he's traveling and not going to be around. So Aaron Rodgers is going to come back with, I visited Istanbul or Seoul, Korea, and went on a journey in my time off. Who knows? He went to Nairobi to experience
Seoul, Korea.
Yeah.
Oh, that's good. That's good. Yeah, that ain't happening. I'm intrigued to see what he says, though, man. I mean, it's gonna be something. He ruined the Jets. He flat out ruined the Jets.
I have barely watched any besides the clips of the McAfee show. I want to see what he has to say, because he's like, you're running out of options
Without pointing the finger at yourself.
Yes.
Which, you're out of options.
Yes.
Now you are. I mean, unless they go on this unbelievable run-the-table win streak that probably still wouldn't even get them in the playoffs.
Right, they have a 5% chance right now, and that's if they win out.
They'd have to win out. They'd be 9-8.
Yep.
And that might be good enough for 7th seed in the AFC.
Yeah, but they'll need help. Like,
right.
Them winning out, I don't think is even good enough at this point with a 5% chance.
Yeah, I mean, if it is, you need a lot of help. Right, that means Cincinnati is done winning, and obviously they have a small chance now with their record, but it's higher than the Jets.
More wins.
Yeah, it's higher than the Jets. So, you need teams like that to fall completely by the wayside. I'm trying to think what division. I mean, the Chargers are probably a lock.
Yeah.
Need Denver to cool down.
Yeah.
Because they're going to get 3 teams in if they don't. Yeah, it's not happening. I don't know what I'm doing right now. There's no shot they win out.
No.
They still have to play the Bills.
And their entire team has been blown. They are all facing down a rebuild. They all know it. So Aaron Rodgers is going to go back to the facility and be like, my time here's done and I know it.
Yeah.
And he's just supposed to go out there and play his best football.
Yeah, here's who they have left. They have the Seahawks at home after the bye. Then they go to Miami. They go to Jacksonville, so back-to-back Florida games. Then they host the Rams. Then they go to Buffalo. Then they finish the season with the Dolphins. So they play the Dolphins twice.
Yeah.
Rams, Jags, Seahawks, and Bills. They're not going 6-0.
No.
There's no shot.
3-3 would be an impressive showing.
And that puts them at 6-11.
Yes.
Woof. There's no way anybody saw this coming.
No, this is, as the number one foremost Aaron Rodgers hater, this is beyond my wildest imagination.
Oh, I'm with you. I mean, this is
because
disgusting.
The implications of a blow up this big mean you now have a quarterback who knows you don't want him back.
Yeah.
It has gone so off the rails that Devontae's now less happy.
Yeah, what's going to happen with him?
He's stuck.
He's
again.
stuck.
No,
He's going to be stuck with Cam Ward.
There is, and now I don't know all of NFL history, there might be no person worse at decision-making on their future than Davante Adams. His career took a tumble in a way that is almost as improbable as the Jets tumble.
Love the word tumble. Yeah.
Because it is a tumble.
I mean, total tumble. Absolute tumble for Davante Adams. I mean, he's like, yeah, I want to go play with my boy out in Vegas. Your boy gets benched and then cut.
Uh-huh.
And he's like, we stink. Head coach is fired. Okay, I want to go hang out with my other guy then. Send me to New York. Head coach fired. GM fired. Your boy going to get cut. And you're stuck under contract. Oh, poor Davante, man. Wasting the prime of his career away when he could be the number one receiver in Green Bay still.
Sure could.
Oh, man, that's insane. Well, just like Rodgers did the night Love was drafted, you could pour a couple fingers worth. Door County Distillery, DoorCountyDistillery.com is the website. I love their bourbon, man. It's so good. They also have the 27-time gold medal award-winning single malt whiskey and rye whiskey. Those are the three main whiskeys. They've got a couple other exclusive if you stop by in Carlsville. But otherwise, gins, rums, whiskeys, vodkas, brandies for your old-fashioned. Elevate your holiday gathering coming up next week. Maybe you got some tailgates coming up in the next week. You got high school football in Madison the next couple of days. You've got Green Bay home games twice in the next week. Elevate it. Door County Distillery, DoorCountyDistillery.com. Available in retailers all over the state of Wisconsin. Madison, Milwaukee, Green Bay, Stevens Point. Wherever you're at, celebrate right. Door County Distillery and DoorCountyDistillery.com. Okay, let's talk Packers-Niners because I am viewing this as the second biggest game remaining on the Packers schedule. Right behind Detroit. Obviously, that game in a couple of weeks on Thursday night in Detroit. So a week or 2 weeks from tomorrow. That's the biggest game left on their schedule. But this is second to me, right? I'm throwing away the Vikings game. I'm throwing away the Bears game. I don't see another game on the Packers schedule that intrigues me as much as Sunday does for a number of reasons, right? Number one, San Francisco is much worse in terms of the record than a lot of us expected. Now, the injury bug hit them so hard, and they've been dealing with injuries all year. But they're 5-6. This could serve as the nail in the coffin on the Niners season. For a team that has served as the nail in your coffin multiple times in the last decade plus, it'd be great to get some get back. Get your lick back, as our friend Chris Orr says. That's the first part of it. Number two is I think Matt LaFleur's only beat Kyle Shanahan straight up once in his tenure as a head coach. We talk all the time about this coaching tree. LaFleur, Shanahan, McVay, McDaniel, and where everybody stacks up. McVay's got a Super Bowl. Shanahan's been to two of them. LaFleur's got some playoff wins and some nice, really, really good regular seasons. But he doesn't really have a feather in his cap. He's been little brothered quite a bit when it comes to Kyle Shanahan, who, of course, is one of his best friends. So it is a huge feather in the cap for Matt LaFleur to finally say, yeah, I effectively ended the Niners season, and I finally beat Kyle Shanahan, a guy that I have trouble beating. That's why I view this game so huge. Because the Niners, albeit record not very good and very injured, still a good team. And still a team I do not want to see in the postseason.
To give you actual numbers on this to support your claim here, with a win, the Packers improved to 90% chance to make the playoffs. With a loss, the San Francisco 49ers dropped to 15%. So that effectively makes them, you win out and you need help scenario, and the Packers would become near a foregone conclusion.
Yeah, 90%. I like that. Mm-hmm. And obviously you'll need a couple other wins. Yep. And look, if you lose this game, kiss the NFC North goodbye. I don't think you can lose again if you want to win the NFC North. And I'm not ruling that out. Could the Packers go undefeated down the stretch? Yes. But they need to look a heck of a lot better than they did last week against Chicago. All right, pandemonium has broken loose across ESPN Wisconsin as we tried to go live today. But somehow we have a connection. I don't know if it's through one of those string and can situations.
Like Hunter's connection to the Beaver Dam folks.
Yeah, right.
Cans and a string.
That's a deep cut for Mr. Irrelevant fans right there. Can and the string. Hunter Vaughn joins us now. Tiny hands back at the Everlight Solar Studio. Did you kick something? What happened?
I have no idea. I wish I knew. I was like, we're ready to go. Let's get the show started. And suddenly everything was dead.
It's just no
idea what happened. Yeah, I'm blaming Jesse. It was wild, but we're back, baby. We're back.
Good to hear. Good to hear. You missed our spirited discussion on Aaron Rodgers to the Vikings next year. So sorry to disappoint you. But
I want it to happen just because
we all want it to
hilarious.
happen. That'd be fantastic.
What do you think about my proposed decision? Because I proclaimed that the Vikings are too smart to enter into the Aaron Rodgers sweepstakes, or lack thereof. What if Mike McCarthy ends up fired and rehired? Do you think that rekindling of a relationship, a familiar offense,
That would make Hunter's heart happy.
a guy he knows, and say it, wherever they end up, pick the Saints, pick your spot.
If it means Mike McCarthy is no longer with the Dallas Cowboys, I'll be happy about it. Get that man out of Dallas. It's ridiculous. Running a high school offense.
McCarthy does feel like a Saints coach, doesn't he?
He does a little bit,
Yeah.
yeah. Oh, wait a minute. The Saints.
Yeah.
Oh. McCarthy, Rodgers,
Big Mike in the Bayou?
and the Nolans. Oh, baby. Don't even get me too pumped up. Grant on the ESPN Milwaukee YouTube chat says, Love needs to be the $55 million man on Sunday. Yeah, he does. And the other part with Jordan Love, too, is the interceptions, albeit some of them very bad. They haven't lost you a ton of games yet. You lost that Detroit game, I think, because of it. But other than that, they haven't been complete backbreakers. Sunday would be a really good opportunity and a good time to not throw one. Just finally have a game this season where you don't throw a pick, right? Because I think that just instills a little bit more confidence and gets the ball rolling and the momentum heading in the right direction as your schedule gets a little wacky. You host Miami 4 days after the Niners game on Thanksgiving night. Then that next Thursday, you go to Detroit. I mean, you could get the ball rolling here with some really nice momentum and energy for this offense with a win over the Niners coming up in a couple of days. So For the Matt LaFleur reasons alone, right? Get a win over Shanahan, put the nail in their coffin. They can obviously control their own destiny, but no, not really. I mean, I think Josh, you said 15% chance to make the playoffs if the Niners lose. It'd be 5-7. It'd be nice to get the reigning NFC champs out of the way when you get to that postseason. Now, you still got your hands full with teams like Philly and Detroit. But to remove San Francisco from the equation effectively at the end of November here with a win over your mentor and best friend, that'd be huge. That'd be huge for Matt LaFleur and a game I think he really needs. So aside from the Detroit game in a couple of weeks, I think this is the second biggest game remaining on the Packers schedule in the regular season. It's a big one. And I'm nervous, but as I continue to sit with this one, I think I pick the Niners on Monday. I'm flipping it. I think the Packers win this, but it's going to be tight. And you need Love to play really good football. Grant carries on with the Love point. Love's thrown 2 horrible pick sixes on national TV. Dude is finally healthy and made 1 bad throw on Sunday. His other 16 dropbacks were so good. They were good. And he made some really nice throws to Christian Watson down the stretch in Chicago. But the nice thing about that pick that he threw on Sunday was it was not in the other team's red zone. Or you weren't backed up against your own goal line. You were in the red zone. And you threw that pick. Now, while this team cannot afford to be any worse than they've already been in the red zone, that's not a good thing to throw interceptions to begin with. But at least it's not returned to the house. So it was an overthrow. He made a bad throw on Sunday, but it was the right read. It was just a bad throw. It was actually in the dynamics and the fundamentals of being a quarterback that went wrong that time rather than the decision-making. So at least that was a bit of an improvement and a bit of an encouraging sign. So that's that. I want to get to one word, but with all of the issues and internet connection issues we're having, I don't know who's running this game. Hunter, Joshy, who's running one word right now?
I mean, I didn't exactly remember that it was Wednesday, so I came up with an idea for it. But it was kind of flying by the seat of my pants.
I think
before
Josh
the show
is
was
checked out.
Supposed to start.
Joshy, are you around? Where are you?
I'm here. I was letting him decide. He's the one who usually puts it together. I didn't want to step on any toes.
Okay, I have a better idea. I want alternating. Alternating one words. So we will start at the Everlight Solar Studio with Hunter Vaughn to kick us off. One word Wednesday. Let's go.
Okay, I was going to go through the playoff teams and get a one word from you for each of them. We're going to start in the AFC. the 7 seed, the Denver Broncos.
Knicks. They've got a quarterback in Denver. He's good, and I think he's going to be good. I'm a believer in Bo Nix, and I think I'm a believer in Sean Payton all of a sudden. This is a playoff team. So my one word will be Knicks for the Denver Broncos. I don't know if Josh is going a different direction. Go ahead, Josh.
I am. Daniel Jones today, the 4th string quarterback for the New York Giants.
Laser show. One word. Laser show. Tim Boyle.
That's 2 words.
One word in this scenario. Laser show. Tim Boyle signed to the Giants, will serve as the 3rd string quarterback. It sounds like coming up this weekend, as Danny Jones will never play another snap for the New York Giants. Yes, a laser show is my one word, which is actually 2 words, but I am making one word. Let's go back to Hunter.
The Arizona Cardinals are the 3 seed in the NFC.
The word I always use to describe them is banned, but I'm going to use it anyway. The word is frisky. The Arizona Cardinals are the friskiest team in the NFL.
You didn't say my name.
Josh.
Thank you. Adam Schefter on Kevin O'Connor's podcast admitting to breaking a story while in intimate relations with a woman.
Frisky. Yeah.
Hell yeah.
Yeah. Insider.
Boo.
I thought that was pretty good. Hunter?
You nasty. The Pittsburgh Steelers, sitting at 8-2, are the 3 seed in the AFC.
Tomlin. Discipline. Coach. It's all about Mike Tomlin, dude. And nice revitalization here for Russell Wilson. But Pittsburgh, good team, really well coached. They don't lose. It's. I'm really excited to watch them tomorrow. Browns Steelers is your Thursday night game this week. It's kind of a sexy game. Like, the Browns stink, but Jameis, great story. I don't know. I'm intrigued for this game tomorrow night. But yeah, I'd go Tomlin for my one word for the Pittsburgh Steelers. Joshy.
Joel Embiid got called out by Tyrese Maxey for not being on time.
Punctuality.
I was thinking.
Wait a second.
What?
This is NFL one word.
That's true. It is.
This is stories around the NFL.
This is my one word.
Which is?
This is such a train wreck.
You could do your NFL over there. I'm tossing. I'm making this guy think on his feet.
I like it, honestly. Hunter, back to you.
So now rules don't matter.
Yep.
Jim Harbaugh's got the Chargers as the 5 seed at 7-3.
Khakis. You know my one word for the Chargers always. It's khakis. Yeah, he's the real deal. Their defensive coordinator is going to be a head coach next year. Herbert is back to being second best quarterback in the 2020 draft class. Burrow 1, Herbert 2, Love 3, Tua 4, as it stands right now. So yeah, really good team. Excited to see them actually be good for once. Because it seems to me like the Chargers always find a way to Chargers. Similarly, not quite to the same level, but how the Bears always find a way to Bears. The Chargers always find a way to Chargers. But now that Jim Harbaugh is their head coach, I don't think that's going to happen. I think they're going to have a Texans-like year where nobody really sees them coming, but all of a sudden they're a playoff team. Oh, man, they just won a game on the road. Oh, wait a minute, they're one of the last 4 teams in the AFC alive. I think that's what's coming for the Chargers. That division is very good outside of the Raiders. So, khakis is my word. Joshy.
British police have asked the public to stop chasing a loose emu.
That's it? Yep. My one word is listen. Emus are like the second largest bird. Did you know that? I played trivia last week at a bar, and me and my teammate, who is married to one of my girlfriend's friends, who was there, and he said, we were going back and forth. It was, what is the largest bird, essentially, right?
Ostrich, right?
It is ostrich, but we were going back and forth. We had both ostrich and emu listed, and we waited until the very last minute when we turned in our score sheet that ostrich was the answer, and we were right. But emu number 2. Emus are a big-ass bird, man. You ever seen Big Bird on Sesame Street?
Yes.
Emus look like him, just not yellow. They're scary. And like, there's that one insurance company, Joshy, who's been doing the Limu Emu commercials. Those terrify the hell out of me. Those commercials are legitimately scary.
Yeah. You want to know about another big bird? This one's scary.
Yeah.
The cassowary.
What's that?
They have large talons on their paws, their front paws there,
Okay.
that they usually get their prey by cutting open their guts.
Oh.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah.
Wow.
Big razor blade talons.
I do not want to walk down the street and see a
Google cassowary.
cassowary. Okay, I will. How do you spell that?
I think it's CASS.
No, you got to spell it yourself.
Okay, I'm going to go CASSAWARIE. Oh, I was wrong, but I was close. Oh, whoa. They're pretty.
Yeah.
Wow, that's a terrifying
mean
bird.
suckers.
Mean suckers. All right, Hunter, last one for you.
Mel Kiper Jr. said that Ashton Genty, running back from Boise State and should be the Heisman Trophy winner, would be a great fit for the Dallas Cowboys.
Aren't they all? Shock / sarcasm. They desperately need a running back, so of course he would be a great fit. Who's going to be the head coach? Who's going to be the offensive coordinator? How do we know if it's a great fit? We don't even know who's going to be the coaching staff. Great fit.
He's an upgrade over Rico Dowdle and 5 million year old Ezekiel
Rico
Elliott.
Dowdle.
Whoa.
Slow your roll.
I'm an upgrade over Zeke.
That's fair.
Okay.
I got a last one here. It is football related.
Okay.
Oh, wow.
Bengals and Cowboys Monday Night Football cannot be flexed because the development of the Simpsons side stream is too far along and they can't pivot in time.
Generation is my word.
Homer.
Bart, Marge, Lisa.
What's even better
Spider
about
Pig.
What's even better about the Cowboys being bad is the fact that Thanksgiving Day, America gets to watch Cooper Rush versus Tommy DeVito. You're welcome, America.
Yeah, that is such a treat.
I'm gonna have.
I'm gonna actually have to.
on that game.
I'm gonna actually have to talk to my aunts and uncles.
Oh, for my dead body, brother. I'm gonna be sitting next to Grandpa. He's gonna be knocked out, and I'm gonna be parked in front of that TV, just boozing.
Well, you're gonna be boozing with Door County, and you're gonna be playing underdog. I mean,
You got it,
that's what you're doing on Thanksgiving. Next to passed out Grandpa. UnderdogFantasy.com, the Underdog app. Use promo code Good Karma at sign up. GOODKARMA. Get 50% deposit match and a free pick at sign up. Underdog's the best way to watch games. You just look at player projections on their stats. You pick higher or lower when you fill it out. You can pick anywhere between 2 and 8 players. You go all the way up to 8, went up to 1,000 times your money. You can turn $1 into $1,000 on Underdog. And they've got all sorts of specials happening all the time. I got a discounted NBA pick last night. Underdog's the best. Watch games along with Underdog. And you can elevate your game watching experience. And then you can elevate your bank account. Do it your way. Underdog. UnderdogFantasy.com. All right, before we get to what we learned in the college basketball minute, there is a chat here. I missed who it was from now, but somebody asked if we're concerned about Jair. Jair Alexander obviously leaving that game against the Chicago Bears very early. He was out the previous couple games, was listed as active, barely played, hasn't practiced, did not practice today. I made the reference at the top, but it's really trending that way, that Jair Alexander is very similar to the end of David Bakhtiari, the former left tackle of the Packers, which, of course, didn't end well, but was an all-pro caliber player. And then when he tore his ACL, he just wasn't the same. When it comes to Jair, it seems like he's got, I don't want to call it the yips, but he seems like the type of guy that unless he is 100% ready to go or 95% ready to go, he's going to go. And if not, if he's 90, 85, 80%, he's not going. And that seemingly is the case with Jair now. So am I worried? Yes. But it is, and Rob Domofsky said this, I think, on Jen, Gabe, and Chewy earlier in the week. When you are taking up a starting spot, you are relied upon to be on the field. And when on a week-to-week basis, you don't know if that guy's going to be on the field, it becomes too big of a liability, and it's time to move on. So I'm not saying right now that Jair needs to be cut in the middle of the season. But I am saying I would understand entirely if this was Jair Alexander's final season in Green Bay. Because he can't stay on the field. He wasn't able to last year. He hasn't been able to this year. When he's on the field, he's been good. But you need reliability in a starting role. And you just don't have it with Jair. It reminds me of David Bakhtiari. So unless he's able to get it straightened out and stays healthy the remainder of the season and into the postseason, then maybe I'd change my tune on it. But to me, it seems like it's just about time to call it a wrap with Jair Alexander. That's where I stand. Joshua, where are you?
The writing is on the wall for him. I think at this point, Jair is just trying to do multiple things.
Speaking of trying to do multiple things, you.
Yeah, I don't know why this isn't working the way I want.
Click the number 2 down there. There you
Boom.
go. There's you on video stream. You opened your mic there and fumbled it. It sounded like this. And then you went away from the microphone for a while.
Yep. I tried to use a button. It didn't work, and then I was stuck. The Jair thing is the David Bakhtiari thing, just in a different form.
Yep.
Jair has enough history of insubordination, and clearly, if you read the tone of all the people who are in the know around Green Bay, I don't think they all come to the same conclusion by accident. I don't know if that means they're hearing something or if they're all just agreeing to something in the press box as they're all together or in the press conferences. But the signs seem to be pointing to an ending to Jair's time in Green Bay simply because they might feel that he is not willing to be out there when the training staff and the coaching staff might think he could. You can't put yourself in a situation like you did last week where good to go, he's on the field, he's in street clothes by halftime.
It's irritating.
And you never want to question those guys' toughness or whatever it is, but I could understand why Jair, maybe who's looking at lack of guaranteed money in the future, wishing to preserve his body to try and get another, I'm sure, lucrative contract when that time comes. It might not be with Green Bay, but in a situation where he does get cut, I got to imagine the market for Jair, somebody as good as him,
he's going to get scooped
is
up.
going to be good. Now, will Jair continue the same behavior? I don't know. Elsewhere, we've seen it go both ways. We've seen people, once the Packers decide, hey, this is it, those guys usually don't do too well.
Yeah.
And it's for a number of factors, all of them different, but you need a reliable guy. You need a guy out there as much as he humanly can be, and you need a guy to be productive. That's just the nature of the NFL.
You're totally right. So we will see. I mean, he's not. I doubt he plays this weekend.
No, him not practicing today would be
bad indication.
Yeah.
And Marshawn Lloyd didn't practice. Everybody else did, including Alex Magoo, who's back. Remember the former quarterback converted to wide receiver?
Is he as a quarterback or a wide receiver?
A wide receiver on the practice squad.
Huh.
Yeah, isn't that interesting? Little nugget for you.
Not really.
No, not really. It's completely inconsequential, but just figured I'd share. All right, time now for the first ever college basketball minute here on Mr. Irrelevant. I'm breaking out the timer again, Joshy, your favorite part.
Who's getting the minute?
I'm getting the minute.
You're minuting yourself?
I'm minuting myself.
Okay.
You ready for my minute?
If you'd say so.
Hunter, you ready for my minute?
I mean, do I have much of a choice?
No.
Okay, sure.
Hey, Alex Strouf, your time starts in 3, 2, 1. How about Marquette? 18-point win over Purdue, number 6 in the country last night. Cam Jones, for the first time since 2003, posting a triple-double for Marquette, who had a bunch of steals, a billion deflections, and were as pesky as possibly imaginable defensively against one of the better offenses in the country. The last year's national runner-up, a team that knocked off the number 2 team in the country last week in Alabama. They come to Fiserv Forum, and this is Marquette's house. Cam Jones, National Player of the Year good. Shaka Smart, one of the best coaches in the country. And Marquette playing this good of defense this early in the season. I'm going to say it. They are national championship level good already. And it is November. Impressive by Marquette. Hey, Wisconsin not too shabby either. Big win over Arizona on Friday. This juicy-ass matchup on December 7th, that much juicier. Marquette, Wisconsin, going to be a top 15 matchup when it comes December 7th. Happy birthday to me. Boom, 60 seconds.
The juicy ass part felt unnecessary.
I was talking really fast,
felt
Josh.
weird.
I was talking really fast.
Comfortable.
You brought up Adam Schefter having coitus, and you're calling me weird?
Yeah.
This is just a weird show.
I think it's a good program we've put
Bunch of
together
weird
today,
dudes
Jay.
being weird dudes.
Yeah, weird fellas being weird fellas. That's what we do around here. That's why it's called irrelevant, you know? Just what we do. All right, you learn something new every day. We learn something new today. It's time now for What We Learned. Joshy, what'd you learn?
I'm going to cede my time to Hunter.
Hunter, what'd you learn?
Josh should have it up on the screen, hopefully. But we go to the Division III basketball world. Montclair State University has a director of positivity. A 2-year-old golden retriever named Charlie Cunningham Jones had 418 followers on Instagram, now has 419. I absolutely love this. We need more of this.
Wait, this puppy
it's the
only has
best.
less than 420 followers?
Yeah. At 418, I gave the puppy a follow. We're at 419.
What is Charlie posting?
Pictures of Charlie.
Yeah.
At the basketball, like at the arena, just day-to-day life. What else do people post on Instagram? What, you think just because Charlie's a dog, you can't just use Instagram the same way as everyone else? Like, come on.
I'm seeing a lot of people named Charlie Cunningham, but I am not seeing one for Charlie Cunningham Jones. I can't find it.
The Instagram is chillin' with Charlie.
It's a good name.
Chilling with a G or with an N?
With an N.
Chilling with Charlie. Oh, I found it. No, I didn't. 4 followers. That's not right. All right, I can't find it. I was trying to make it 420.
Just go to the Montclair State website, and then it'll take you to, it's the women's basketball team, director of positivity.
So, Joshy, you and I work in our Milwaukee office for Good Karma Brands.
Yes.
We obviously have our station, ESPN Milwaukee,
Yeah.
620 WTMJ, 1017 The Truth, and a lot of our headquarter operations.
Yes,
that go on
behind
here.
the scenes.
Yes, that go on here. One of which includes Good Karma Brand's version of Charlie.
Yes.
Our chief love officer, our CLO, named Sophie. Sophie was, you were probably downstairs yesterday morning. I was upstairs in our corporate area with the desks and such. Sophie wasn't happy yesterday.
Uh-oh.
That barking galore.
Wow.
So much to the point where somebody said out loud, and I'm not joking when I say this, it was not me. I'm going to preface it right away. I had nothing to do with this. I just heard somebody say this, and I yelled at them. Do you think Sophie has seen Old Yeller before?
That's not nice.
No!
Sophie's a good pup.
Sophie is a good
That's unacceptable.
Both Sophie and Charlie are very reminiscent of the dog I have at home, which I just received a photo of a couple minutes ago of my dog Russell tearing up his new pickle toy that he got at home.
Pickle.
The golden retrievers, you see everybody have them. They seem pretty chill until they get to a certain age.
Well, they're maniacal. We love them, though.
They're a bit pesky, a little high strung. My dog is currently
frisky.
in very frisky. Is in the devious portion of his life where
Sure.
he's doing things wrong on purpose because he knows it gets me and the Mussolini in my house up and active and giving him attention.
Hold on. What's the Mussolini reference?
That's my girlfriend.
Why do we call her that?
She's a dictator.
Is she?
Yeah. Ask her. She'll tell you.
Oh, she'll be honest about it. Oh, boy.
Yeah, when I say, why didn't, like last Sunday, let's say. Let's go back.
Yeah, just let it out. Let it out.
To it. Last Sunday, there were guests in the house for the Packers game. I like to watch Packers game usually by myself, 1 or 2 people around. We had a full-fledged party, and I said, do I get no say in this? She said, no, this is a dictatorship. So I watched the Packer game with 4 other people.
Are you okay with living in a dictatorship?
Don't got many options right now, Stroufy.
That wasn't a yes. I mean, that's for certain. That was not a yes.
I'm fighting the good fight. How's that? I am trying to take back my rights.
That is as much of a non-answer as you could possibly give me, which I respect. I mentioned it before, but Cam Jones, Marquette, first triple-double for Marquette since Dwayne Wade did it in the Elite Eight in 2003. It is the 3rd ever triple-double in Marquette history. Cam Jones, that damn good. Running the point guard now when Tyler Kolek's not around, and he does everything. Cam Jones might be the best player in the country. Certainly up there. So I was blown away, though, because triple-doubles don't really happen in college basketball. And by the way, just to give you a reference of how insane my favorite NBA player is, Cam Jones, third triple-double in Marquette history last night. Also last night in the NBA, Russell Westbrook, 200th triple-double in his NBA career. 200 of them. Triple-doubles, man. Triple-doubles. All right. Despite all the technological errors,
This might be our finest program in weeks.
it's up there. But the good news for you, Josh, is Hunter has high school football state championships Thursday and Friday. Hunter will not be with us on Friday. You've got a fully fledged run the show on Friday.
I think I'm getting sick.
Yeah, me too. Me too. It might just be me on Friday. Solo dolo Strouf action at a Packers-Niners. We will be with you beginning at 12:30. That's a promise on Friday. Not 12:42 like it was today. And we will continue to preview Packers-Niners. We will get into that a lot more. We'll also preview Badgers-Nebraska. Who the hell's calling plays? I don't know. Neither does Luke Fickle, I don't think.
Community effort.
Gross. We will talk to you Friday beginning at 12:30. ESPN Madison, ESPN Milwaukee on YouTube, as well as wherever you get your podcasts, Apple Podcasts, Spotify, Wisconsin On Demand. It's, of course, presented by Door County Distillery. Search Mr. Irrelevant wherever you get your podcasts. Just click subscribe for us. Even if you watch us on YouTube, give us a subscribe on podcasts, Apple Podcasts, or Spotify. It helps grow the show, helps us continue to do this thing. So we appreciate you. We'll talk to you Friday. It's Mr. Irrelevant. I'm Alex Strouf. Peace.
No music.
Hey, Josh, do your job and kill the stream, would ya?